Did the Watts riot of 1965 influence your work in any way?
Well, during that time, the Los Angeles artists like John Otterbridge, Noah Porfoy, John Scott, they actually went down to the Watts Towers, or went to the Watts area, especially Noah, and picked up debris. I think he did something about melted neon. You know, that whole...
Debris from the riot.
Yes, debris from the riots, which is another way of recycling a negative thing into a positive thing. The California Afro-American Museum had a show about artists from the 50s and how they'd recycled those things, and it was quite interesting. And then, because that was during my time too, we all sort of got together and formed our own art group with Alonzo Davis, Alonzo and Dale Davis, in their gallery down on, what is that street? Off of Crenshaw.
Yes.
Yeah. The Brockman Gallery.
Yes, the Brockman Gallery.
That sort of became our headquarters because Los Angeles is so different from New York, where everybody sort of knows each other, but we're all spread out, you know, Pasadena, LA, north, south, east, west. So that became sort of our headquarters, and the Watts riot became sort of like the catalyst for that, for everybody to go and make their protest statement through their art.
Fantastic. I think it's wonderful how they did that, just using all of these pieces.
Yes.
Please.
And that's why assemblage got very popular. I think assemblage is really popular, especially in Southern California, with Edward Keenholz, with all the other artists who, George Herms, all those people who took things and put them together to make another statement. But the black artists, the African American artists, made theirs a protest statement.
A protest statement, indeed. Please describe your window works of that period, such as the phrenology series. You spoke about phrenology earlier, and your Black Girls window.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, that was sort of the bridge between printmaking and into fine arts, because I found these windows. The first one I found was when I was visiting a friend in Big Sur, and she said, "Oh yeah, I could take that window. It's just going to be taken to the dump." And then I started framing my prints behind, and they were all like astrological signs, palmistry signs, so they all dealt with metaphysical themes that way. That, you know, until I got to, I think when I was doing a series of 3 or 4 pieces on phrenology, which is the profile of the person, showing the spaces in the brain that control, you know, speech or whatever, you know, thoughts, whatever. And then I did one of those called Black Phrenology Man. And then I did Black Girls Window. I think that's also 72. I don't know.
70s,
which is
yes.
Autobiographical, you know, with the hands pressed like this, but using my hands as a palmistry, like the lifeline, the health line, and little stars and moons and things like that. So it's like a silhouette of my profile with my hair not too different than this, because it's all over, and then my hands against the window. And the panes of the window sort of like made a separate frame and tell a story. And one of the panes, I think it's over on that side if I'm facing you, it's like a couple from the 30s, which symbolized my parents. It's like a little Valentine, a couple dancing, and which symbolized my parents, because that was the time that they were married, from the late 20s to the 30s. And another was an eagle, and it had love on it, but it was also to symbolize war and that kind of political implication. One is a small lion, which is my astrological sign. So it was like telling my legends through each little pane of glass. And then the window is still one of the things that I'm fascinated in using. In fact, I have a couple on my table here to recycle into telling a story. I guess if I classified my own art, it would be that I was a narrative artist, that I wanted to tell stories.
And using the concept of a window is very interesting, because all of us look through windows.
You're either looking out or you're
looking in, exactly.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. So it's like what you see out or what you see in, that sort of duality that happens. And it's then what the message is behind the glass and what the viewer gets from it, too. So I like that idea.